The storm arrives like a lawsuit. It files across the horizon. Black briefcase, legal rain. Deck 12 tilts. A woman in sequins bargains with physics. A fisherman in a boat that never loved him says the oldest word without spelling it, please. You lift the trident, not because you need to, because theater is half the job. You are good at this part. You are terrible at this part. You are Poseidon, event planner, janitor, god, cut wider, freighters like apartment blocks, wind farms blinking insomnia, an oil rig pretending it isn't nervous. Cut closer, one raindrop signed in your handwriting. Cut absurd, a gull practicing heckling. Cut sincere, a child on a balcony, delighted to be small. The sky tightens like a drum. The world listens with its hair. Birth begin in noise. Your father, Cronus, practices whole food parenting. He swallows his kids. Your mother, Rhea, is done. She wraps a newborn foal, yes, a horse in swaddling, and slides it across like a cursed party sub. Down it goes. Nay, you're smuggled to the salt edge, raised by aunties with shell bracelets and opinions sharp as fish bones, and by waves that never learned inside voices. You learn the ocean's maths. Forward, back, forward. Progress is repetition that won't apologize. You learn to breathe like tide. In, out, survive. Zeus shows up like a salesman between quotas, jailbreaks the siblings, and divides reality like probate. Sky for him, flashy ceiling with in-house electricity. Underworld for Hades, statistics with a door. The middle for you, estuary, channel, grief, the rooms between rooms. The wet road to elsewhere. You move in, horses happen when you try to invent a wave that runs on land. Not a mistake, a thesis. You love anything that eats wind and calls it speed. You set the trident into the seam of continents like you're sewing, or threatening. Both are true. Brand Day 1. You lose a city naming contest. Athena offers an olive tree. Elegant, replicable, portable. You offer a briny fountain that tastes like your mood. Focus group yawns. She wins. You pretend you didn't want Athens anyway and side-eye their skyline for a few thousand years. Your love life. Notarized chaos. You father children like the sea makes shells. Compulsion plus accident. Cyclopes with one very big opinion. Sirens staging cliffs. Heroes with jawlines that need disclaimers. You try to parent. You confuse mercy with weather. On good days, you teach resilience. On bad days, you invent myth. Mortals cross you, literally, by nailing planks to courage and calling it boat. They test you like a sore tooth. You capsize arrogance. You cradle bravery. You whisper lessons in white foam and hope someone keeps count. Court convenes in your palace. Columns, shadows, dolphins commuting like interns. Nereids bring minutes and mint tea. Petitioners line the shell desk. Earthshaker, they begin. Flatter, go on. Could you not during nap time? You nod like compromise is a drink you enjoy. You forget like a storm forgets shorelines. Family rivalries are weather. Zeus drops by to flex thunder and steal headlines. Hera calls you dramatic. Pot, kettle. Ares confuses volume with victory. You confuse him with a child and a drum set. Athena reverse engineers your moods into shipping forecasts you pretend not to read. Hades hosts in a cellar where time gives up. Then Odysseus blinds your Cyclops son and brags like humility is a language he plans to shout in. You take it personally because it is. You become his weather report for 10 years. Fog is a course. Islands are a maze. Petty? Absolutely. The divine excel at non-forgiveness. We have time. Quieter lanes. Small mercies. Storm nudged half a degree left. Fish placed where a reaching hand will be. 1 square mile cooled because a mother asked without knowing to. No hymns for disasters that don't happen. You do them anyway. You rattle the crust sometimes. Punctuation for an overlong sentence. Reminder of who lives underneath. You develop a fondness for harbors. The geometry of trust. Rope, knot, promise. Cities remember to be smaller when they meet you. Time for you is not a line, it's death. Empires boil and evaporate in you. Bronze hushes, iron sulks to rust. 1,000 years feel like Tuesday with better costumes. You keep an archive in silt, coins with kings whose names became verbs, amphorae that still smell of olives if you try hard, a pistol that learned quiet. Your palace becomes a switchboard, dolphins route calls. A crab named Polythrix, work ethic of a spreadsheet, runs scheduling and adds births at sea, romantic sunsets, and tedious influencer rescues. You triage. Fishing boat versus imperial fleet. Sleeping infant versus cargo of grain. Law versus love. You fail someone daily and hope it isn't the same someone twice. You tune storms like sound check. Too much, and they build statues to your anger. Forget the lesson by lunch. Just enough, and they build better boats. Thicker ribs, humbler speeches. You want them to survive you without pretending to own you. You want impossible things. Your brothers orbit like comets. Hades brings wine older than countries and jokes that improve in darkness. Zeus brings gossip and a lightning demo that burns a hole in your rug. He calls it modern art. You love them the way continents meet with subduction zones. Mortals make you story when they need change. A navigator reads your ribs by stars and finds Tahiti with a grin you feel. A child throws a rock, waits for the echo, learns patience. That's you too, the lesson nobody credits. Montage, triremes slicing, caravels feeling clever, galleons wheezing wealth, steamers sneering at wind, submarines hiding poorly, container ships stacked like flats. Same water, your water. Offerings arrive like mail, bread, wine, coins, whispers, emojis. Your names change hats. You answer to each. Hobbies to avoid becoming pure disaster. Braid kelp, sculpt sandbars, teach an octopus petty theft, write poems in bioluminescence, and let squid applaud. Sponsor a lighthouse keeper who reads you awful novels at 3 a.m. You flatten the chop in gratitude. Your press agent chirps immortal like warranty equals relevance. Mortals rename you Current, Gyre, El Nino, Thermohaline Circulation. You like the knowledge, resent the swagger. They beep into you and call the beeps truth. Not wrong, just incomplete. They forget the part where you decide. Prayers thin or arrive as search bars. Pulse fix weather in Mallorca 20th to 27th August. A yacht pings coordinates and expects rescue as a service. You oblige more than you should. An app called Poseidon predicts wave height. You want to review 3 stars. Accurate, misses vibe. Your body warms like a fever. Everyone labels anomaly till the word phrase. Ice loosens its own name. Fish migrate with small suitcases of bewilderment. Coral bleaches into postcards. Islands slip from low to gone. A clean word for drowning. Plastic confetti collects in your lungs. A turtle eats a bag and calls it lunch. You forgive nobody, least of all yourself. Museums display your marble as if marble is the point. Tourists caption your trident, trident true. Somewhere a boy stares at your face on a vase and feels his blood sit up. That counts. A bowl of water that shouldn't ripple, ripples. You flex when no one looks. Lift a sleeping whale once. Turn a blue hole into a mirror someone needs. You practice restraint like an instrument. Fury like rehab. You hate what's happening to you. You throw a storm, wake with regret in your beard. Old enough to know better, too old not to try. New gods move in, data and convenience. No hymns, only terms of service. You share the building, shake it sometimes to remind them who signed the lease first. A woman by the sea learns the insurance vocabulary for drowning. She refreshes the forecast like prayer. She whispers, please. You tip the storm 2 streets left. No one will know. That's the gig, invisible kindness that reads as luck. Your grudges refine. Fewer ruined regattas. More scorekeeping with yourself. How many mercies? How many lessons? The crab leaves notes. Try gentleness first. You try. You still break things. Your endings aren't doors. They're tides. Still, fine. A finale. Night near a pier, older than the town pretending to own it. Kids cannonball into you, surfacing in streetlight sequins. A freighter purses toward a horizon that refuses consensus. A bell buoy clears its throat. You send a ripple 1,000 miles so another buoy answers once, because call and response is the only liturgy you trust. You step onto your balcony. Your beard has learned kelp. Your knuckles are sandbars. The trident leans like a broom after a long party. Polythrix retires with honors and a tide pool-shaped watch. Dolphins parade. You tear up brine. You look over your body. Heat, plastic, hope, and smooth one storm's cowlick with a deliberate palm. Moon kisses your brow. Wind writes cursive and changes its mind 6 times. Somewhere the seabed adjusts like a sleeper, finding a cool spot on the pillow. From far away, you look like indifference. You are not indifferent. You are enormous. A fisherman at 3:17 a.m. says your name without meaning to. You cradle his boat 40 extra minutes. He wakes and calls it luck. A coder inland dreams in gulls. A child builds a sandcastle exactly where you erase it and laughs. You feel seen. You don't fade. You dilate. More water, less man. Eyes widen into two blue holes the size of continents. Voice lowers into the shell tone. You were always this. You got distracted being statue. You lift the trident not to brandish but to tune. It's a fork, really. You ping the rail. The hum travels. Somewhere a storm downsizes. Somewhere a drought loosens its throat. When gods do it right, nobody claps. Tonight's last act is administrative and tender. Approve a whale migration. Sign fog for two teenagers who need privacy. Authorize a rogue wave to humble a super yacht for character development. Deny perfect photo weather. Policy, we do weather for living. Greenlight a lightning show for a town that needs an excuse to gather. Zeus texts thumbs up, you let him have the stage. The pier groans its favorite joke. Gulls critique your lighting, then forget. Rooftops nod under useful rain. Asphalt sighs. Morning calls itself fresh like laundry. You step backward into yourself, which is forward into everything. You're the horizon and the floor and the weather between. The cruise ship steadies. The sequined woman laugh exhales. The cocktail doesn't fall. The fisherman hauls a heavy net and finds fish, and only makes room for enough. Because everything circles, tide, story, breath, you loop. The storm arrives like a lawsuit. This time you hold the gavel like a metronome. You tune the sky. You are good at this part. Better than last time. Better next time. You raise your hand and the world leans toward water, as it always has, as it always will. Cut to black. A buoy rings once, politely, as if the sea had a door, and someone you love just let themselves in.